Masculinity is naturalized in the form of the hero and presented through forms that revolve around heroes: sagas, ballads, westerns, thrillers, in books, film, television, and in sporting events. This is a quote from Donaldson's 1993 article, What is Hegemonic Masculinity? Now, although there are feminine heroes, in American culture we prize masculine heroes, so when we portray America's most fundamental heroes on film, we portray them as being very masculine, whether or not they were, like Abraham Lincoln is portrayed in the film Young Mr. Lincoln. I'm going to look at Fahy's 5-category criteria for masculinity and test Lincoln's character from Young Mr. Lincoln to see if he matches up to Fahy's stipulations. First, I will discuss Lincoln within the context of familial patriarchy and heterosexuality. Secondly, I will discuss Lincoln through his occupational achievements. Lastly, I will discuss Lincoln within the context of frontiersmanship and physical force and control. I will use 2 articles, one by Clow, Ricardelli, and White, and the other by Donaldson, to extrapolate upon my points. Now I will go over each aspect of masculinity, starting with familial patriarchy and heterosexuality. Now, since Lincoln is so young in this film and he is not yet married, he is also living on his own. He's independent. He does not display familial patriarchy because he does not have a family of his own. So I think that familial patriarchy can be excused in this case. Now, in this film, he displays heterosexuality. Towards the beginning of the film, Lincoln is seen as having a close relationship with a girl called Anne. He flirts with her by telling her that he likes her hair color, and sadly after she dies, you can see that he still cares about her because he changes the flowers on her grave and asks her for advice when he needs it. Now, midway through the film, we see Lincoln courting his future wife, Mary Todd, and although he doesn't like to dance, he does dance with her in the film. Another concept that can further extrapolate on this point is laddism, which Clow, Ricardelli, and White talk about. It is one of their 3 types of masculinity in the modern world. Laddism is characterized by youthfulness and bachelorhood. Now, in this film, Lincoln is a young bachelor, so he fits under this umbrella term of laddism. Now, the concept supports Lincoln's heterosexuality. Even though he's not seen as having any sexual encounters, he is a young, independent bachelor, so he does not need to seek out women. They seek him out. Heterosexuality and familial patriarchy are not the only important traits in a masculine hero, according to Fahy. Occupational achievement is very important as well. Now, the main plot of the film surrounds Lincoln's occupational achievements. He served in the Black Hawk War, so he has military achievement. Now, Donaldson lays out a handful of male norms, one of them being courage. And Lincoln has courage because he fought in the war. Lincoln is also a self-educated man. He did not attend school for more than a year in his life, yet he is able to teach himself law and win an important case even though he lacks the experience to do so. Lincoln demonstrates great occupational achievement, and 2 of his most prominent masculine traits probably helped him with this. They are Fahy's last 2 traits, which are frontiersmanship and physical force and control. Now, the film shows Lincoln as being a frontiersman and having lots of physical force and control. Lincoln lived in the old frontier and is portrayed as growing up as a frontiersman. The Lincoln in a log cabin legend is alluded to when he visits a log cabin and he says that he's reminded of his childhood. Lincoln is seen chopping wood at least twice in the film. He even wins a log splitting contest, which this fits Clow, Ricardelli, and White's concept of muscularity. He's muscular because he won a log splitting contest. Now, Lincoln's most evident trait of Fahy's masculinity is a sense of physical force and control. In his law office, he settles a dispute between 2 men of the town by threatening to knock their heads together. Now, he illustrates control of these men by threatening him, and he tells them that he's very good at physical force because he demonstrated aptly in the war. Lincoln also quells a lynch mob entirely on his own. He exerts great control over them through his use of rhetoric and physical force. He simply kicks their battering ram away from the door. Now, aggression and toughness are 2 more of Donaldson's traits, which Lincoln clearly displays in this scene. All in all, Lincoln exhibits 4 out of 5 of Fahy's traits of masculinity, but his masculinity also holds up to Donaldson's male norms and demonstrates 2 out of 3 of Clow, Ricardelli, and White's forms of masculinity. Although Lincoln does not demonstrate familial patriarchy, he does demonstrate heterosexuality, occupational achievement, frontiersmanship, and physical force and control. Now, Abraham Lincoln is a quintessential American hero, and the filmmakers of Young Mr. Lincoln made sure that he was portrayed as being the masculine figure that we want all of our national heroes to be. Masculinity and knowing that our national heroes are seen as masculine is important to American citizens. By knowing these cultural values, we can gain a better understanding of ourselves and of our culture. Using this film as a template, we will be able to spot instances of portrayed masculinity in other films and understand why filmmakers take the extra effort to portray American heroes as being the masculine figures that we want them to be, especially in films like Young Mr. Lincoln.